Buddy? Hey, welcome to my orchard. I'd like to introduce you to somebody. Hey, Goaty Goat, can you say hi? Can you say hi to everybody? Well, welcome to our first science lesson. Have I got a treat for you? I'm going to show you the most amazing cycle on our planet called the nitrogen cycle. And before you watch this video, I hope you went out and you researched what is the nitrogen cycle. I know some of our groups are going to be presenting the nitrogen cycle, but just so you understand this video a little bit more, I would highly recommend that you stop right now if you haven't done so. Look up the nitrogen cycle. Oh, yeah, Goaty Goat, tell him. Say, look up the nitrogen cycle. Okay, well, ready to start our lesson? Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our science lesson of the nitrogen cycle. Now, it's a cycle, so there really is no beginning and no end. But for our purposes today, I'm going to take something that starts in the process of the continuum of a cycle, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And it is oh so beautiful. It's in my hand, and I can't wait to show you. You ready? Here it is. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, even Goaty Goat. Can you hear Goaty Goat in the back? I'm over here, Goaty Goat. This is a chicken Hershey morsel. I call it Hershey because I'm from Hershey, Pennsylvania. But doesn't it kind of look like a Hershey Kiss? Although you'd never want to eat it. But it's a dropping out of one of my chickens. Now, why am I starting the nitrogen cycle with this? Is because this is so important for the nitrogen cycle. It is a concentration of nitrogen that digestive systems don't use, and every animal it's different. For the chicken, this is called a hot manure. Sometimes we refer to it as scat when it's a non-domesticated animal, but this is basically a manure, chicken manure, and it is considered very hot. Very high in nitrogen. Actually, this is so high in nitrogen that in ancient times, even up to the Revolutionary War, they used to dry this up, make powder, and make gunpowder out of it because the energy that's in here is so concentrated. But you can't put on most plants, you can't just put this as a fertilizer because it's so hot, it'll kill the plant. So what we do is we create compost. And compost is a mixture of manure, or nitrogen, and then we add in some leaves or some paper, which is carbon, and there is a process where it is converted into a type of energy that the plants can use called compost. Now, if you ever try to make compost, like we have in our garden at Kimberly, if you have too much nitrogen, it stinks like manure. If you have too much carbon, it smells like a garbage pit. But if you have it just right, it smells like garden heaven. So I'm just going to throw this down here because my trees are so big, one little tiny Hershey chicken morsel isn't going to kill it. It'll just add some energy. And before I move on, I'll show you. I have chickens mainly for the nitrogen, but they give off something else. I tried to pick up an egg, but I picked up something else instead. Yeah, these are my eggs for my chickens. It's an added benefit to the beautiful nitrogen that I get to fertilize my beautiful plants. And as you can see, this is my gold nugget tree right here. And I'll take you around in the orchard a little bit later. But before we do that, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to show you the next process of composting. Okay, so I'm here and I'm underneath, this is called a Yosemite Gold mandarin. And I've got my bucket right here, and I'm going to try to tilt it to you to show you. But this bucket is filled with months of chicken scat and goat scat. And if you can see, oh boy, that smells delicious. They should make a perfume out of that. But as you can see that I break it up, you can see all the individual processes. And what it's doing right now is it's in the process of composting. And because it's down the orchard, I don't really care about that very nitrogen, what you would call a cow smell, even though it's not a cow, but it smells really, really strong. But what I do in this type of composting is I put it in the bucket, pretty much just the way it is with no carbon. And then what I do is I set the bucket right here by the base of a tree usually over top of where a squirrel hole might be, or a gopher hole, because they don't like the smell as much as we don't. But anyway, I put this on here, and then when it rains or it waters, you can see, I'll move the bucket, you can see that there is water percolating through the holes. And that water is filled with, you guessed it, nitrogen. And that nitrogen then goes and it fertilizes the trees. And as you can see, this is a healthy tree because it's producing lots and lots of blossoms. I'm gonna be quiet for a second and see if you guys can't hear the bees. You see that little guy right there? He's so cute. And then the plant uses the nitrogen to do three things. It uses the nitrogen to produce sugar. And on Thursday's lesson, I will go over photosynthesis. But for right now, just realize that the nitrogen is circulating. It didn't start with the chicken poop, but it concentrating the chicken poop through the process of breakdown and decomposition. It has become a nitrogen that's more readily available for the roots to use. It gets caught up in the water. It binds with the water. The water takes it down to the roots, and then the tree, through a process of photosynthesis, creates the circular motion of fluids around the tree. And synthesis, what is needed is nitrogen. That's what we will cover on Thursday. And then the tree uses those sugars to do three things. The first thing is to heal itself. So if you have a tree that doesn't have any fruit or it looks sickly, the very first thing you should check is maybe there's something attacking the roots. The second thing that it does is it grows. As you can see, these are semi-dwarf trees, so they're about as full-grown as they will get. And then the third thing that the tree does with the sugar is it produces fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go eat this. And I hope you have researched what the nitrogen cycle is, and in some way this little short video shows you the application of the nitrogen cycle, because nitrogen is all around us, as you've probably learned in your research of the nitrogen cycle. And so anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you on Thursday when we go over in more detail the process of photosynthesis and how these marvelous trees and all plants use the nitrogen to produce their own sugar. And until then, have a safe and wonderful day. Bye, kids.